Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. I'm Nicolette Hodge, and this is We Reflect the Light. Welcome. Continuation of America's economic collapse, sisters and brothers. We're heading into the time of unprecedented trouble. That means that things are going to happen that has never happened before and will never happen again. The war in the Middle East is about us, sisters and brothers. We are the true seed of Abraham. We have the history to prove it. We have an inheritance, a reward for enduring that history right here in America of suffering, of horror. Our true experience is called the Holocaust. And every nation is working together to prevent us from receiving our inheritance, which is the Abrahamic covenant. So understand that this war in the Middle East, it's about us. It's about our inheritance, the Abrahamic covenant. So let's get right into our history, sisters and brothers. We are told that we cannot leave out of America and return home until we have a thorough knowledge of self. Part of that thorough knowledge of self is knowing our true history right here in the hills of North America. So the Holocaust. What is that? The Holocaust properly identifies our full experience. It identifies the 1% of slavery that we endured and the 99% of affliction that we endured. America teaches us that our experience is called slavery and slavery only. And that's their attempt to diminish, whitewash, downplay, and sweep under the rug our true history. So they only talk about that 1%. They don't talk about the other 99% affliction that they put us through. Slavery is working someone without paying them. We're slaves right now, sisters and brothers. People all over the world have been enslaved. So by them calling our experience slavery, that puts, that their attempt to put us on the same level as everyone else. So at that point, what's so special about our experience? Everyone has been enslaved. Well, not everyone, however, people all over the world have been enslaved. So that's one of the deceptions that our enemy is using to keep us blind, deaf, and dumb, to keep us confused about reality, to keep us wandering around confused. However, we're here to inform you, sisters and brothers, of the truth, the reality that we're in, and what it is that we have endured. All right, what it is that we have gone through as a people, sisters and brothers. Horror from start to finish right here in America. These devils raped our black women, raped us warrior queens, 24/7, raping us, raping us, raping us, nonstop. They had an agenda that they were carrying out. And that agenda was and still is to wipe our seed out of existence. And with us being the true seed of Abraham, what does that mean? They were trying to wipe Abraham's seed out of existence by restricting us, trying to prevent us from being intimate, procreating, multiplying with our original black man. So they restricted us. And they, massa, these devils, were raping us around the clock and putting their seed in our womb. So they were impregnating us, sowing their seed, making us give birth to their house Negro children, making us give birth to demons. Demons are real people, sisters and brothers. Not a spook, not a spirit, not something invisible. Demons are real physical people that we are coming in contact with every day and have been for 400 plus years. These devils forced us to produce the demons by raping us and making us give birth to demons, half devil, half man. So they have our appearance, dark skin, may have kinky hair, some of them. However, the bloodline and the nature of their devil father who raped us. It is a scientific, biological fact that you are the seed of your father. These devils know this. Now, they lie to us to confuse us. They tell us that one drop of black blood makes you black. However, that's a confusion in itself because black does not identify the bloodline. Black does not identify your nature. So it's just an umbrella term that they're using to group all people with the same skin color together. However, there are two different groups of black people in America: the house Negroes and the field Negroes, the demons and the saints. And Massa raped us so much, sisters, that half of the blacks in America are demons. Half of the blacks in America are Europeans in black skin. Half of the blacks are original saints, sisters and brothers. So we overcame that battle. We were victorious in that battle because understand that them trying to wipe our seed out of existence, that means they went to war. That was a biological war on our seed. And we won that battle, sisters, because we snuck to procreate. We made sure that we were multiplying Abraham's seed so that we could keep coming through the womb so that we are here today, fulfilling the Abrahamic covenant. They were also trying to prevent the birth of the Messiah. If it wasn't for us, making sure that Abraham's seed kept coming through our womb, which Joshua the Messiah, he is Abraham's seed. If it wasn't for us carrying out our mission of preserving Abraham's seed, then the Messiah would not be here today. Joshua the Messiah, he would not have even been born. So we made sure that Joshua the Messiah was born as well. That's part of preserving Abraham's seed. And Joshua the Messiah is the messenger of the covenant. We'll get into that further, sisters and brothers. However, this is the affliction that we endured, being raped, genocide on our nation, attempted genocide. That's not slavery. All right, let me point this out. Just the mere fact that they raped us, that just shows that they're weak, cowards, taking something that does not belong to them. That means that they raped us. That means that we wouldn't even willingly lay down with them. So they raped us. So that should tell you everything you need to know right there, sisters and brothers. Taking our wombs against our will and using it to further their agenda. So with that being said, sisters and brothers, what else did they do to us? They boiled us alive. Look at the picture. They afflicted us on every level. They force-fed us human shit. Knocked our teeth down our throat as they funneled shit into our mouths. They also used our children's mouths and our mouths as urinals, pissing in our mouths. Then put muzzles over our mouths so that we couldn't spit it out. That's not slavery. doing unspeakable acts to our children, which is us, because we started out as children. So they raped us, sodomized us, tortured us from birth till death. They tortured us, they afflicted us physically, beating us, raping us, psychologically, telling us that if we don't love and pray to Jesus, that we're going to die and go to hell somewhere beneath the ground and burn forever and ever and ever. And that if we love and pray to Jesus, we accept Jesus, which understand that Jesus is a made up term. You're not going to find the word Jesus nowhere in the original manuscripts. So that's another deception to psychologically afflict us. And they said if we do love and pray to Jesus and accept him, that when we die, we'll go to heaven somewhere beyond the sun, moon, and stars. We can't verify that either. And that we'll be in heaven. However, even if we did make it to heaven, they taught us that we're Ham, cursed black, to be slaves forever and ever and ever. So even if we did make it to heaven, we'll be slaves forever and ever and ever. So based on the deception, based on what they presented us, there was no winning either way. Either you die and burn forever and ever, ever, or you go to heaven somewhere in the clouds and you're still a slave forever and ever and ever. So there was no freedom, justice, equality on either situation that they presented to us, which is all a lie, all a deception. We are in the hells of North America right now. Hell is a physical place, a physical landmass. Heaven is also a physical place. Heaven is our home, Arabia. You don't have to die to get there. So we're in hell right now. This is the worst. The Holocaust. We have come through the worst hell ever. We're in hell. This is it, sisters and brothers. So what does the scripture say? Because we have all the proof to back up our claim, our rightful claim, that we are the true seed of Abraham. When the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be sojourners. That means temporarily, sisters and brothers, in a land that is not theirs. America's not our land, sisters and brothers. We're temporarily here. And shall serve them. That's enslavement. And they shall afflict them. So that's two different things we experience. Enslavement and affliction. They only talk about the enslavement. But the scriptures clearly tell you that we will also be afflicted. For how long? 400 years. That went from 1619 to 2019. We verify that time period by looking at the timeline, putting everything together. 2020 came in with their plague, signaling that America's judgment had started. So that's how we verify that 400-year time period. 2020 came in with a plague, COVID-19, passing over the original black men and women all over the planet. Those of us that have the blood of the Lamb. And the Lamb himself is Joshua the Messiah. He is the true seed of Abraham. So COVID-19 passed over the true seed of Abraham. While, however, it didn't pass over, excuse me, sisters and brothers, excuse me. However, COVID-19 did not pass over those who are not the true seed of Abraham. The devils, the Caucasians, all over the planet, even the Caucasians and black skin right here in America, the demons, they have the same bloodline as their devil fathers. COVID-19 did not pass over them either. So 2020 is the year that the judgment started. It shares in also that nation, the Caucasian nation. It shared in also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge. Well, we served the Caucasian nation. All right. And afterward shall they come out to let you know that we're leaving America, this land that's not ours, with great substance. That means great wealth, sisters and brothers. But thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Again, let you know that we're leaving America. We're going to our fathers in peace. And our fathers are not from America. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age. And in the fourth generation, which is what we are in right now, we're in the fourth generation, sisters and brothers, they shall come hither again. Hither means here again. Let you know that we're returning. All right. For the iniquity of the Amorite is not yet full. So where are we returning to, sisters and brothers? Because Genesis 15, 12 through 17 lets you know what we would endure, how long, specifically what we would endure. And it lets you know that we're leaving. It lets you know we're coming out of this hell that we're in. In that day, God made a covenant with Abram, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. So this is the Abrahamic covenant, God's sure and volatile word to place us. It shares that have I given this land. So that means it's already ours, sisters and brothers. From the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. It belongs to us. This land belongs to us, sisters and brothers. This is our inheritance. Now, when you look on the map, those two rivers are not in America. These two rivers are in the Middle East. And the land between these two rivers is Arabia, our promised land. So, Arabia is our home. Arabia is our original land. Arabia is where we are hithering. Again, that means where we're returning back to, sisters and brothers. Elijah Muhammad told us that we would be fools to stay in the land of our imprisonment. Yet Louis Farrakhan, his student ministers, they're saying that we ain't going nowhere. Lying, saying that America is the promised land. That's not true, sisters and brothers. Not for us. America is hell. Arabia is heaven. Supreme Wisdom Lessons tell you that we have preserved the best part of the planet Earth for ourselves, which is Arabia at the holy city Mecca. And it identifies our heavenly home, sisters and brothers, is Arabia. So Farrakhan saying that we ain't going nowhere. He says that he loves America. He doesn't want to leave America. Well, he does not represent us, sisters and brothers. He's speaking for himself and the demons, which he is a demon. He's the chief demon. So his nature, being that he is a devil in black skin, his father is a Portuguese Jew that raped his black mother. She tried to abort Farrakhan and was unsuccessful. And she was forced to give birth to Farrakhan, a chief demon, the chief demon. So that's why he wants to stay here in America. He wants to stay here with his devil fathers. So don't be deceived, sisters and brothers. He does not represent us. He's speaking from his nature, which we have two different natures. So we have a vision, sisters and brothers, which is the Abrahamic covenant. One common vision for us to unite under, sisters and brothers. We're about to come together under our vision. This is our mission, sisters and brothers, to unite under the vision of the Abrahamic covenant and make our exodus of America. So, with that being said, understand that America's economic collapse, as we progress through the presentation, have no fear, sisters and brothers, because Yes, America's economy is going to collapse. However, we have been promised our own land. So we have our own economics. However, we have to let go of this reality before we can move into the next reality. So America's economic collapse is in our favor. All we need is each other, sisters and brothers, and our land. And all of the things that come along with that, sisters and brothers, that we're going to carry out, producing our paradise. None of our enemies want this to happen, sisters and brothers, and they're conspiring together to prevent the fulfillment of the Abrahamic covenant, which we are also given a messenger of the covenant, which is Joshua the Messiah, letting us know that we ain't sinful, letting us know that we have a vision. Arabia, the promised land. He's bringing and preaching the message of the Abrahamic covenant. And there's only one person who fits that description, sisters and brothers. So with that being said, I bring in our next speaker to take us further. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. It's David Hodge. All right, brothers and sisters. The enemy is doing their best to keep you deceived. Now, they spend majority of their energy to do so. They're keeping you wrapped around deception, manipulation. They're lying, and they're brainwashing. They're brainwashing us, brothers and sisters, to keep you locked into the lie that they're sharing. And this is all to make you doubt what you perceive. You see, taking you out of reality, making you question, whether what you believe is true or not. So it's not a matter of, let's not say if it's true or not. They're the ones setting up what you believe. So they're the ones giving you the information. They're giving you bad information. That way you make bad decisions. So, see, they're giving you false information to intentionally mislead you, which is harming us. You see, influencing your thinking and behavior based off the information that they're giving you. You see, so they have us locked in exactly where they want us, which is tailored to our destruction. Now, these individuals that are doing these things, it's false Israel, right? They're the ones who control social media. They control the mainstream platforms. They control Hollywood. They're the ones controlling what you see, what you hear, things of that, right? And these things are keeping you deceived, manipulated, brainwashed, with keeping you within the programming, indoctrination, right? They're the ones keeping you locked into this reality, which is tailored to your destruction. They're the ones redefining, right, who you are, destroying you. You see, they're destroying your name, which is they're lying. They're doing slander. See, talks about blasphemy. Slander means to ruin your good reputation. You see, and why are they doing these things? Why are they making us out to be like we're bad people? You see, because they're the ones making you feel like, you see, because false Israel, the ones who are paying the demons, masses, black-faced children to represent you. You see, music, shows, this, that, reality, right? They're telling you what it is to be black. So that means being disrespectful, being nasty, being, terrible people, savages, fools, ignorant people, hoes, pimps, drug dealers, straight grimy people, right? This is what it requires to be black. You gotta your vocabulary can't be you can't have a good vocabulary. Your word of choices has to be slang. You have to act a damn fool. You gotta be a clown, a comedian, a killer, this. The stereotypes, right? They're controlling all these things. But why? Because these individuals have stolen your identity. Simple. And to continue to maintain your identity, they have to ruin yours. So that's the whole point, right? They have to ruin your identity. That way, you possibly wouldn't even believe that you are the true seed of Abraham. You see? So not only on top of that, well, no one would believe it because look how you act. Look how they represent. Look how they have us represented as. You see? So not only would we not believe it, they wouldn't. Who could possibly believe it? Because look how they act. They don't act like God's people. Right. But this is what they've done. You see? These are things that they're doing intentionally. Because now that leaves them room to successfully maintain your identity, right? Identity theft. So they got it, right? And they got to keep pushing that, pushing these things out. Telling you that this is who you are, this is what you are, you're no good, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're this, you're wicked, you're sinful, you're this, yeah, and that's the direction that they're at. To keep you, like I said, glued to this reality, to keep their reality going. You see? So they're what's holding you down, holding you from rising. They're preventing you from finding out who you are. Because if you find out who you are, then you'll stop accepting their bad information. You stop listening to them. You realize that they're your enemies. That these people mean you no good. now you can see what's going on. Now you're no longer deceived. You see? Now you no longer being manipulated. Now you can see their lies. Now you reversing the process of programming. Now you're no longer brainwashed. You see? And that's what they want you. They want you brainwashed. They want you manipulated, deceived. And then they're lying to do it. You see? So these individuals, they're like I said, it's exposed who they are, who false Israel is. It tells you exactly who they are because they claim to be something that they're not. It says that these individuals will masquerade as an angel of light, claiming to be the true light, claiming that these things that they're doing is the truth, right? But it's lies. You see, they're the ones blocking the good news. They're the ones preventing you from seeing the truth of this time, stopping you from getting the good information. That way they say you know better, you do better. They're preventing you from rising up and realizing that you have a vision. It said people out of vision will perish. So they're the ones that make sure that you perish. You see? So, but it tells you here. Matter of fact. So it tells you here in Revelations chapters 2 and 3, verse 9, both chapters. It tells you exactly who these individuals who have stolen our identity, who they truly are. It says, I have known of you the tribulation and the poverty, but rich you are. And it says, in the blasphemy. So now we're getting to the good part, right? Getting to them. Now speaking to them. It says, in the blasphemy, right? Which is exactly what we shared, which is a lie, which is slander. Someone ruining your good reputation. It says the lying, right? Lying. They're lying. It said, out of the same Jews, pay attention right there. Jews to be themselves and not they are, but synagogue of the Satan, right? Now, if you go down here, it says something similar. It says, look, I am giving out a synagogue of the Satan, of the saying themselves Jews to be and not they are, but they are lying. So, well, there you have it. It's simple, brothers and sisters. It's telling you exactly who these individuals are. It says the ones who have synagogues. It says it's Satan. It says the ones saying themselves Jews. They're not. They're lying. It says, right, the ones who call themselves Jews. It says they're Satan. So it's clear who these individuals are. They're Satan. So it's not a mystery, brothers and sisters. These are physical. You know, they want you to believe the demons, devils, and this and that. And these things are spooky and spiritual things that you can't see, but you can. You see, Satan is individual people. It's a group of people. It's false Israel. You see, so it's telling you exactly who they are, and these are the same individuals who have stolen our identity. You see, so the scripture is clear. You are not Jews. You are liars. It says your father is a devil. You do the works of your father. You are the synagogue of Satan. You see? So, and these individuals will soon be exposed once they're destroyed. But what do you mean when they destroyed? You see? That's another indication that they're not who they claim to be, on top of them not fit the description of Abram's vision, see, because they don't fit that. The true seed Abraham would fit that description, but they don't fit it. They don't fit nowhere where you try to line them up in it. They fit, you see, because they're not who they claim to be, just like them being destroyed. You see, that's not supposed to happen. You see, that's an abomination. He said when God placed them in their land, they are not to be uprooted or removed, which is a clear indication that they were false. Just like it says in their name, false Israel, meaning that they're false, telling you exactly that they're not who they claim to be. And on top of that, Israel spelled wrong. You see, the A and the E should be flipped. Something that's real is spelled excuse me, brothers and sisters, Israel. Real is real. You see? So they're fake. They're false. They're not who they claim to be. And it said that they would be destroyed, which is an abomination. Because it said when God placed them in their land, they're not to be uprooted or removed, which is a clear indication that they're not who they claim to be. And that they're Satan. You see? And it tells you here in Luke what's going to happen to them. It says when you see Jerusalem being surrounded by armies, you would know that its desolation is near. Right? Okay, so focus in on Jerusalem. What is the capital of Jerusalem? Is the capital of what? You see? Who controls Jerusalem? False Israel. Right? So with that information, now you can read this again. And it says, when you see false Israel being surrounded by armies, you would know that its desolation is near. Okay, so zone in on desolation. Well, we know desolation means destruction. You see, it says near. So why is it saying that? Because the world is supposed to be structured around the idea that, well, the world is structured around the idea that false Israel is God's chosen people. So the idea behind this is God's supposed to come back and defeat all their enemies and fight with them and destroy anybody in their way, right? Well, if that's true, then what is this about? Why is this information being shared that their desolation is near? That's because they're not with God. They're against God. You see, it's Satan. They're the anti of God. They're against him and his people. They say they're going to be destroyed. You see, it doesn't say redemption. It doesn't say salvation. It says destruction. You see, and when this happens, the point is they can't allow this to happen. They can allow it's going to happen regardless. That's what I'm sharing. But before they destroy it, they have to attack you. Literally, like no more behind the scenes, no more what do they call it? Conspiracy. No more hitting attacks. Oh, they're going to make it visible, right? That they come in to attack you out loud, right in your face. No more shooting you in the back. No more shooting you in the back. They're gonna bring the guns. Excuse me, brothers and sisters. No more shooting you in the back. They bring the guns to you right in your chin. You see? they're gonna show you exactly who they are. Because when this happened, you understand what I explained is false Israel's the momentum. They're the weight. They're the thing that's keeping you from rising. They're the things that's keeping you from being lifted up. That's keeping you blind, keeping you from finding out the truth, from keeping you from finding out your vision. So that it said that people out of vision would perish. So they want making sure you perish. They're part of the agenda to make sure you perish, right? So they can't allow you to rise up, because if you rise up, that's everyone else's who had a who did destroy you and had a helping hand in your who was trying to destroy you, right? And who had a helping hand in that destruction. So it means you come up, they go down. So no one's rooting for you to make it out alive. No one wants you to endure this process. They don't want you to make it to the finish line. They want you to be destroyed, because this comes with negative consequence for their actions of their hand in helping with trying to eradicate you. You see? So when this takes place, this is once they see that happening, that that their destruction is near, they can't allow that to happen. They can't allow that to spread. They can't allow you to rise up. So it says that they'll attack you. It says flee, 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 flee. It tell you right here, it says, then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let those in the city get out, and let those in the country not enter the city. It said, for this is the time of punishment and fulfillment of of all that has been written. How dreadful it will be in those days for pregnant women and nursing mothers. That's in your language. It says, there will be a great distress in the land, in wrath against these people, or this people. Okay, so let's focus on the flee. It says flee. Now, see, this is a warning to our people. When this happens, right, when they're about to be destroyed, it says flee, which signifies that we're in danger, and stamps the seriousness of this moment, because they're coming to attack you. And then not only does it say flee, right? It said don't go back to get nothing. It says don't go back. Don't hesitate to lose your life, right? So it's telling you, don't even go back to get your child. It said don't go back to get your baby. Woo! Now you tell me that's not intense. You tell me that's, you see, woo, right? That tells you how serious this is. Unprecedented. You see, a time of unprecedented trouble, a time like no other, never will there be. It's serious. It says you try to go back to get your child, you lose your life with your child. So man, it'd be, how great would it be, right? To be with your children during this moment. That way, when you flee, y'all go together, right? Man, you see. But if you had to make a decision to save your life, you had to go, right? Now tell me how easy that is. Right. But that's what you have to deal with. You have to make that decision to preserve your life. You have to go. You see? And they tear you up, right? But you see, you're supposed to be being prepared. You see? But people not preparing you. The people around you not telling you. People that's not telling you about this, they're not telling you about this. These things will prepare you. See, because you have to start thinking in that manner. You see? Because you're not prepared, you're not going to do it. You see? Or you're not going to be. You see, that's another thing. If you had a heads up, you wouldn't need to flee. You see? Because you're on top of it. You already know what's going to take place before it happens. You see, you were individuals who know what the hell they're talking about. So you see, but you're surrounded by your enemies. It said if you cannot identify your enemies, then you are your own enemy. So these people have made you out to be your own enemy from telling you lies, this deception, manipulation. You see, coming as if they're good people because they say nice things. You see, but that don't mean anything. That's just English. They're just talking. You see, that's part of their scandal. You see, they mean you no good because they don't tell you about your vision. They don't tell you that you need to flee. They don't tell you who Satan is. They don't tell you who your enemies are. They're not telling you what's taking place. That you're going to lose your life if you hesitate. You see? So that's how you identify these individuals. They mean you no good. Whether it's intentional or unintentional. It's what it is. Your life is at stake. But they're not, you see? So the point is, during this time, you see, when this destruction takes place, are people going to be under attack? You see, and that's that's serious. See, don't go back to get your baby. Now you tell me. Now you tell me that that's not serious business, right? That's real. That's real. That's man. That's woo. See, unprecedented. And that's where we headed. We in the time we in the time of that. Where things about to change for things that you know are going to change forever. Life as you know is not going to be the same. You see, we have to flee. You have to run for your life. You see. So with that being shared, brothers and sisters, I hope this was helpful. You know, and like I said, we that's what we're here for, to give you the information that will save your life, that will help you not become your own enemy, that will give you the tools to survive during this time of this unprecedented situation that we're about to face, and to you know give you what you need to be successful during this time, brothers and sisters, to move forward to the next reality, which is leaving here. See? So we leave, complete separation, and then we get out of here. So you'll be a fool to stay here in the land you're in prison. That's what the enemy wants for you. He wants you to be destroyed along with him. See? So with that being shared, brothers and sisters, I will now bring in the next speaker. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. The war in the Middle East sisters and brothers, is the war in heaven. Heaven is the Middle East. Sisters and brothers, this war in heaven, or in the Middle East, is going to bring this world to a screeching end. Revelations 12:7 states, and occurred war in the heaven, the Michael, and the angels of him of the two war with the dragon, and the dragon war and the angels of it, and not it proved strong, not but place was found of them yet in the heaven, and was thrown the dragon, the great, the serpent, the archaic, the being called devil, and the Satan, the making to air, the being inhabited whole. He was thrown into the earth, and the angels of him with him were thrown. This shares with us that Michael and his angels went to war or goes to war with the dragon and the angels of the dragon. Sisters and brothers, Michael is the God, Master Farad Muhammad, and his angels are Iran and Syria. The dragon and the angels of the dragon are the house of Saudi Arabia, is the dragon. And the angels of the dragon are Britain, false Israel, and America. Now, sisters and brothers, in looking at the dragon and its angels, these are 4 countries. Three of these countries are nuclear power countries, and the 3 of the countries are aligned. Well, let me say it like this: America, which is the superpower; Britain, which is a superpower, a former superpower. America is the superpower, and Britain was the former superpower. Gog and Magog. And false Israel, the synagogue of the Satan, is their brains. They um, share how, you know, I'm gonna leave it like as that because I'm not gonna. Let's, however, these nations are at war with Iran. These nations have entered into the war against Iran. This is what's taking place right now. This is what is going to change your reality. Sisters and brothers, the scripture shares with us, the unsealed scripture shares with us that Michael and his angels are at war with the dragon and the angels of the dragon. And this war takes place in heaven. And then it goes down to show that, and not it proved strong, not but place was found of them yet in the heaven. So the ones that didn't prove strong, they were no longer found in heaven. They were defeated in the war in heaven, and was thrown the dragon, the great, the serpent, the archaic, the being called devil, and the Satan, the making to air, the being inhabited whole. He was thrown into the earth, and the angels of him with him were thrown. So this lets us know that the dragon and the angels of him were thrown out of heaven into the earth, that there were no place found of them in the heaven anymore. Meaning they were defeated in the war in heaven, and they were thrown out of heaven into the earth. This is what is going to happen. This is sharing with us that the house of Saudi Arabia, who is the dragon, America, Britain, and false Israel, the devils and the Satan, the serpent, the devils and the devils and the Satan was defeated. America, Britain, false Israel, and Saudi Arabia will be defeated in this war against Iran. Sisters and brothers, false Israel has a it's called the Samson Act. Let me just say it like that. And this Samson Act is to be activated in the event that false Israel is being losing the war or being destroyed. In the event of, a last um what you call that, a last um act or um their last move. So, sisters and brothers, in any attempt of using nuclear weapons, they will not be successful in the use of nuclear weapons in the Middle East. America, sisters and brothers, will be nuked. However, no nuclear weapons are going to be deployed in heaven, which is the Middle East. Master Farah Muhammad, the God, is not going to allow that to happen. Sisters and brothers, this is the outcome of the war in heaven, which is going, wait a minute, during this war, before there's victory or defeat, which means any day, the chief demon Louis Farrakhan, the son of perdition, the chief demon, Legion, Louis Eugene Grounds, who was turned to NOI backwards, Aaron, who has made the NOI a laughing stock to the enemies, is going to be cast out the nation of Islam. Sisters and brothers, America is going to attack all blacks after they have been thrown out of the Middle East. Now, sisters and brothers, why America is going to attack all blacks? America has set up false Israel along with Britain in the Middle East to counter Elijah Muhammad's claim that the original black man and woman here in America are the true seed of Abraham, are God's chosen people. False Israel has stolen our identity and is sharing with the world that they're God's chosen people, and has the world blessing false Israel and cursing the original black man and woman here in America. Has this religious eschatology that false Israel are God's chosen people. Sisters and brothers, this lie has been concocted to block the truth from us, from our people, to keep us from realizing or knowing who we are, to keep us from seeing and understanding that the scriptures are speaking on about us the original black man and woman here in the hills of North America. Sisters and brothers, false Israel is saying that they have been in slavery for 400 years. They're saying that they have been in a land, took to a strange land, and enslaved for 400 years and afflicted for 400 years. However, sisters and brothers, false Israel claims that this happened, or is saying now that this happened before Prophet Isa, or what they call Jesus 2,000 years ago. However, the details of the scripture shares with us after that 400-year period that nation will be judged, and after that 400 years, God will give the land from the river of Egypt to the great river Euphrates to Abraham's seed. Now, sisters and brothers, none of that has happened with false Israel. Not 400 years, but thousands of years have passed. And false Israel wasn't set in the promised land or in Arabia. However, false Israel was set up in Palestine by America and Britain to counter Elijah Muhammad's claim. And try to and uses this 4-year Holocaust what they call a Holocaust in Germany, when they were put into gas chambers for turning traitor on Germany and assisting Britain in the war, which caused Germany to lose the war. Now, sisters and brothers, the scripture clearly states that we will be in a strange land for 400 years, enslaved and afflicted, and after that 400 years, a curse a plague would kill the firstborn of Egypt. Now, sisters and brothers, we, the original black man and woman here in America, know for a fact that slavery began. The official beginning of slavery was in 1619. And 400 years from 1619 brings us to 2019. And immediately after 2019, 2020 came in with the plague that was called COVID-19. Sisters and brothers, COVID-19 is the plague that killed the firstborn of Egypt. The firstborn means the elderly. They were born first. So, COVID-19 was known for killing the elderly, the Caucasian white man, or the Caucasian nation all over the planet. And sisters and brothers, COVID-19 was even stated by the World Health Association or whatever. It's known that it wasn't affecting the original people of the planet. It wasn't affecting the original black man or woman or the original people. It passed over the original black man or woman in the man. It passed over Haiti, Africa. Wasn't no outbreak, no, well, let's say in the original parts of Africa. Wasn't no major outbreaks or deaths taking place. Wasn't no social distancing, no mask wearing, because it passed over us. Now, sisters and brothers, false Israel was not passed over. They were decimated by the plague. Sisters and brothers, this Passover passed us over, and false Israel celebrates the Passover every year so they know that they wasn't passed over. Sisters and brothers, this is how or where the war, let me say it like this. False Israel is going to be destroyed to clear the lie, to make it clear to the world that false Israel is a liar and that false Israel is not the true seed of Abraham. False Israel was set up by the devils, America and Britain. This is Satan's world, the devil's world. Sisters and brothers, and this is how this war is connected to the original black man and woman. This war is going to make it understood that false Israel is false and that the original black man and woman here in America are the true seed of Abraham. America, sisters and brothers, will attack us to try to prevent us from rising, from coming together before false Israel is destroyed. Because when false Israel is destroyed, that lie, the religious eschatology, is going to be destroyed with false Israel. And there will be nothing holding us down, that lie, or blocking the original black man or woman from understanding who we are. And when false Israel is destroyed, we're going to immediately rise, sisters and brothers, as a mighty nation, as one body, as an exceedingly great army. Sisters and brothers, in our unity, we will find or will have our security. Sisters and brothers, false Israel's destruction is going to shock the world. The world will witness false Israel being destroyed. However, sisters and brothers, America will attack us before false Israel is destroyed. Now, that is the outcome. This is what's going to take place. Sisters and brothers, America's economy is going to collapse. An economic collapse, which they're not speaking on this. Now, sisters and brothers, not only are we just, everything is, you're being lied from all aspects and attacked from every elevated place. Know that the truth of what's taking place in the war, the events that where the war is, these things are being, you know, blocked as well from us, so that you're not told what the conditions are and what is about to occur. So, in trying to prevent um widespread panic and chaos, they're not even going to share with you what's actually happening. Sisters and brothers, this war, America's America is going to they're already in it. The world, the nation is as an economic collapse. It's an oil shortage that is already in effect. Saudi Arabia is being bombed, on fire, and cannot transport any oil out of Saudi Arabia, and no oil's come. Well, no oil's coming to America out of the Strait of Hormuz. It's shut down. That's over 50% of the world's oil. Now, sisters and brothers, this oil shortage is going to bring America economy to it's going to cause it to collapse. A collapse. America's um supply chain is going to fail. Sisters and brothers, the lack of oil, lack of gas, the lack of natural elements that come from the Middle East or heaven, they don't have the things that they need to keep the soil living, the fertilizer that keeps the crops growing. They don't have that. It's a mineral or something that they don't have just to clean water, to where they're having situations across America right now. Why, fluoride and fluoride, some, some that they add in with that cleans the water. So they have a water cleaning problems as well in America. Sisters and brothers, this war is going to snatch this reality, this dream, the American dream, off and under your feet. And it's going to happen quick. So, sisters, if you're not paying attention, this is going to cause panic, chaos, um, war, civil war, just all out, just um, when there's no food, when regular necessities have been taken, no lights, Things like that, sisters and brothers, that'll be, you don't have gas, you don't have anything to, no energy. It's an energy shortage. That's what this reality is, energized by oil. And it's going to be an oil shortage. It's already a shortage, sisters and brothers. There, America's reserves are at the lowest ever. It's stated that they may have 2 to 4 weeks worth of oil, and that soon they won't be able to fly planes because they don't have the oil, the oil or the gas that comes from the Middle East that they can make kerosene, jet fuel, and diesel fuel from. This gas, what they fracking for in America, you can't produce diesel from it. You can't produce kerosene. You can't produce jet fuel from it. So, sisters and brothers, this is what we're witnessing. This is what's happening right now. The scriptures are unfolding. This is a detailed message in detail given of what the outcome will be from the unsealed scriptures of the Bible. Not watch the weather, we're not going nowhere. Sisters and brothers, we have a way out, a doorway out of the land of our affliction. We have to unite. We have to achieve Hajj as we upload the angel mind, our new mind, and utilize the 5 pillars of Islam as our protection. Sisters and brothers, we are coming up out of the land of our affliction. We're leaving America. We're going home. We must return to our land, which is in Arabia, or from the river Egypt to the great river, the river Euphrates. So, with that, sisters and brothers, this is what we're witnessing. The war in heaven. This is how it's going to affect us. This war is going to remove, clean out heaven. As the scripture says, there will be no place found of them in the heaven. So America, Britain, and the house of Sion, as well as the synagogue of Satan's false Israel, are going to be thrown into the earth out of heaven. So, sisters and brothers, this is going to bring, it's done, we're directly connected to this war. We are the true seed of Abraham. We are God's chosen people, and the world is being brought to an end. This is the end of this, the rule of this, the devil, the end of the winter season is, the winter is being destroyed by the spring. So the spring is coming in, and the winter is going out, will be destroyed by the spring. A new reality, our reality, our heaven. So, sisters and brothers, I'm going to bring this to an end. We are the true seed of Abraham. We have a way out. We will eat, sisters and brothers, because in this unprecedented time, it will be no food. It will be famine, cannibalism, just a, a time of unprecedented trouble. That means a time like never before. We're going to witness it. We're going to walk through it. Sisters and brothers, doing so. Sisters and brothers, we will be successful. We're going on. And all those that want to go are going home. With that, sisters and brothers, I'm going to bring this to a close and greet you in the greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum. Oh, excuse me, sisters and brothers. I'm not ending this. I'm turning it over to the next speaker to take us further.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. I'm Fatima Hodge. Today I'm going to be reading out the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 26. It reads, men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken. All right, sisters and brothers, this scripture here in Luke is identifying what's going to take place before the war that is taking place right now in false Israel takes place. Well, not takes place, sisters and brothers, but is identifying what is going to take place before false Israel, in fact, goes down in this war, right? Because the scriptures identifies that false Israel will, in fact, be defeated, right? Destroyed. So this here scripture is a reaction to that in which is to come, sisters and brothers. It said men's hearts will be failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken. So, sisters and brothers, this is telling you that men's hearts will be failing them for fear. From fear. For looking after those things which are coming on the earth. So, sisters and brothers, this is identifying that people's hearts are going to be failing them from fear before false Israel goes down, right? Just them seeing, said looking after those things. So just witnessing what's about to happen, witnessing them failing in this war, right? Is going to cause people's hearts to fail from fear from what's to come, because you gotta understand that when false Israel goes down, that not only affects them, that also affects America, sisters and brothers, right? So it said men's hearts will be failing them for fear, from fear. Isn't it? So that's to tell you something right there about how serious that event is going to be. Sisters and brothers, very, very serious time that, that are approaching us. And the fact is identifying that people's hearts are going to be failing them before the event takes place should tell you how serious this time is that is approaching us, which is unprecedented, sisters and brothers. Total economic collapse here in America. Total famine here that's about to take place. And America has never gone without food, sisters and brothers. And that's exactly what's about to happen right here in America, sisters and brothers. All right, sisters and brothers, like I shared, the time that's approaching us is unprecedented, meaning it is a time like no other. Sisters and brothers, the angel exposes to us exactly what is going to take place during this time. Sisters and brothers, and the scripture gives you an idea of those events. And as you see right here in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 57, it reads, in her sisters and brothers, it reads, her placenta, which comes out from between her feet, and her children whom she bears, for she will eat them secretly, for the lack of everything in the siege, in desperate straits, in which your enemies shall distress you at all your gates. Right? So this is highlighting an event that will take place during this time of unprecedented trouble, during this time of a famine. Sisters and brothers, there will be no food, no water, no heat. Sisters and brothers, no gas, meaning no transportation to get food back and forth to the warehouses, food to the stores. Sisters and brothers, there will be any of that. No electricity, meaning there'll be no way to store your food, keep your food fresh. It won't be anything to do those anything to do those things. Exactly, because there'll be no power. Sisters and brothers, so we have to understand how serious this time is. Sisters and brothers, economic collapse. Meaning this whole reality as you see it today is not going to be like it is, sisters and brothers, by this times identified as unprecedented times, sisters and brothers. We are in fact living out the apocalypse, sisters and brothers. So we have to understand the times that's approaching us. And this here scripture is highlighting an event that you will in fact see and witness during this time of unprecedented trouble, sisters and brothers, which is the time of tribulations that we will in fact be going through. Right here in America, sisters and brothers, it said a woman will give birth, right? And eat her own placenta and the own children that she bears, sisters and brothers. So this is telling you how serious this time is. That means there's no food. If a woman is eating her child, her placenta, that means there's no food, sisters and brothers. So this is highlighting the event that you will see during this time. And the scriptures gives you a clear example of what you will see, sisters and brothers, because we can't, no one has experienced this. Like I showed you, it's a time of unprecedented trouble, sisters and brothers, time like no other. Sisters and brothers, we have never seen a time like this. These devils, but to see these devils in full action, sisters and brothers, in a light that we've never seen them in, sisters and brothers. It's survival mode, sisters and brothers. They've never gone without food. So understand that we're about to be witnessing things that we've never witnessed before. These people pass themselves, make themselves look like they're angels, right? But that's not who they are. And during this time, you're going to see who they truly are, sisters and brothers, which are wicked. Sisters and brothers by nature. You're going to see cannibalism taking place. That's what the scripture is highlighting. Sisters and brothers, this is how serious this time is, unprecedented. We're going to be witnessing these things, sisters and brothers, and we have to understand the seriousness of this time. Because before they eat their children, and then after birth and all these things, they're going to be looking at who? Us, sisters and brothers. because we are, in fact, what? 3/5 of the human, right? In their constitution. Why did they do that, though, sisters and brothers? Because these people, they read the scriptures, right? For what it is. So they're playing for this time, right? Which is the sealed Bible. They read the sealed Bible, and this is identified right here. What will happen during this time, right? So they put us in the Constitution as 3/5 of the human, sisters and brothers. So when this time was to come, they could classify all blacks as food. So we have to understand that they're literally going to be trying to eat us, sisters and brothers. That's how serious this time is, sisters and brothers. They're about to try to eat us. And we have to understand that during this time, the demons are going to unite, the original nations are going to unite under the Abrahamic covenant. And you have to understand what your vision is in order to be on that right end, right? Because if not, you will be, in fact, risking your lives because this is what you'll be experiencing. So, brothers, people trying to attack you, people trying to eat you. This is brothers, it said flee. Scriptures identify for us to flee. Don't turn around. Look, you can't go back and get your baby. You must flee. That's how serious this time is. It's telling you can't even go back and get your own child. That's telling you, that's giving you a highlight of how serious this time is that's approaching us, sisters and brothers, which is unprecedented, a time like no other. You have to see these devils in full action in a light that you've never seen them in, sisters and brothers. And it says experience is the best teacher, right? Because we haven't seen these devils in action. We can tell you about the Holocaust, tell you about the thing they did to our nation, but it's going to take you to see this, feel this, sisters and brothers. That's what it's going to take. Because experience is the best teacher. And you're going to know for a fact that these people are devils, sisters and brothers, weak and wicked by nature, sisters and brothers. And like I shared, during this time, we're going to unite, come together in the Abrahamic covenant. And that is, in fact, your vision, sisters and brothers. And we will, in fact, have food. We will, in fact, be coming together under the Injil, sisters and brothers, and our nature, which is the five mathematical pillars of Islam. And one of those pillars are going to be very severe during this time, which is eating one meal a day. Because you have to understand that these people are not, they don't have any discipline. So they eat constantly. So when this event happens, they're gonna be in shock. I share no food, sisters and brothers. They're not used to not eating. They eat 3 meals a day or more. Sisters and brothers snack throughout the day. So we have to understand the mindset. Put yourself in the mindset of these devils and how they eat and how a lot of our people eat today because of the mind that these devils have given us, right? So you have to understand that listen, brothers, we have to understand that eating one meal a day is in fact your nature. And this is going to put them in shock, sisters and brothers, because they've never fasted, sisters and brothers. So they're going to be in shock. A lot of these devils are going to be in shock. And if they cannot, you know, if they cannot adjust to the new reality that's coming in, which is the spring, they will in fact be destroyed right here in the winter, right here in America, sisters and brothers. They'll be destroyed right here in America. So you have to understand that the time that's approaching us is unprecedented times, sisters and brothers. And we must upload the mind of the spring and, in fact, our nature in order to be successful, sisters and brothers, during this time. All right, sisters and brothers, it says right here in Jeremiah chapter 19, verse 9. And I will cause them to eat the flesh of their sons and the flesh of their daughters. And everyone shall eat the flesh of his friend in siege, and in the desperation with which their enemies and those who seek their lives shall drive them to despair. Now, sisters and brothers, it's also highlighting what you'll be seeing. It says that they will eat the flesh of their own sons and their daughters. And they will have no hope, right? During this time. So we have to understand this. People eating their own children. That's how serious this is. And it says in the scriptures as well that children will be gray-headed during this time. That means the child will have to be under a certain amount of stress to be gray-headed, sisters and brothers. So that is why we are here, giving you the light, right? That you need, the only light that you will receive, sisters and brothers. Because they're out for our destruction, sisters and brothers, your enemies, right? And it's important for you to know who your enemies are. And that's why we're here to tell you who your enemies are, sisters and brothers, which are these devils, sisters and brothers, that are surrounding you. And these black-faced demons that are robbing you, taking from you, sisters and brothers, misleading you, misguiding you, telling you that they're lights for you, but they're in fact not. Sisters and brothers, they're here to deceive you. We're here to give you your vision, sisters and brothers, which is in fact the Abrahamic covenant. That is what our nation is going to rise as a mighty nation, as Scripture also shared, under the Abrahamic covenant, which is in fact our vision, sisters and brothers. And during that time, we're going to be uploading the mind of the angel mind, sisters and brothers. Let's understand that that is the mind that we need to move forward, right? Which is the mind of the spring, right? And on top of that, we have to achieve Hajj with our nation during the tribulations. And to achieve that, we have to know what our nature is, which is the 5 mathematical pillars of Islam, sisters and brothers. And that's another thing that we're going to have to achieve as well, sisters and brothers. So we are here to give you the true light of the scriptures and the true guidance that you need to be successful during this time of unprecedented trouble. All right, sisters and brothers. So with that, we'll be back with more. Assalamu alaikum.